Introduction. God is loving, giving to people's needs, giving to people's requests, observing what people do, forgiving, until the God who created everything thought of becoming a human being to experience living on earth again without remembering anything as the God who created everything. The Boy Who Walked in the Rain. A young child's story. Van, the young child, no one knew where the boy came from. He was not born in his mother's womb. He simply appeared one day, stepping into the world as if he had always been there. He had no clothes, no name, and no past only bare feet that carried him forward. He walked through villages and cities, over hills and rivers. People turned their heads, whispering, but he paid no mind. He did not know shame or hunger, only the need to keep moving. One evening, as the young child wandered down an empty street, the sky darkened. Heavy drops of rain began to fall, soaking his skin. Still, he walked, unbothered. Then he heard something soft at first, then louder. W.E Acebo. A woman's sobs. She sat on the steps of a quiet house, her face buried in her hands. The young child, Van Acebo, stopped. He did not know sorrow, but he recognized the weight of it in her shaking shoulders. "My husband left me?" W.E Acebo, she whispered to no one. "He said I am not a woman because I did not give him a child." The young child, Van Acebo, stood before her, rain running down his skin. He reached out, touching her hand. "Husband, you did not give birth," he said, his voice calm, "but here I am." W.E Acebo. She looked up, eyes wide. For the first time in years, she did not feel empty. And the rain kept falling, washing away the past. The young mother's story. W.E had everything money could buy: a grand mansion, fine jewelry, and a business empire that made her one of the richest women in the city. But all the wealth in the world could not give her the one thing she longed for: a child. She had tried everything: doctors, treatments, prayers. Each time, hope bloomed, only to wither into disappointment. People whispered behind her back. Some pitied her, others judged. Her husband, once loving, grew distant. One evening, he simply packed his bags and left W.E. "You have everything," he said, "except the one thing that matters." Alone in her silent home, W.E wandered through rooms filled with luxury, but empty of warmth. She paused before the nursery she had prepared years ago. Inside, a beautiful crib sat untouched, its soft blankets undisturbed. She ran her fingers over the wood, tracing dreams that never came true. One night, as she stared out at the city lights, she went a solo to the waiting shed and sat down, talking to himself and wailing. Suddenly, it rained. Heavily. She saw a shadow in a distant young child. She bowed his head while crying, W.E Acebo. She saw the shadow of a young child in front of her, and with the young child, Van Acebo, barefoot and naked without hesitation. W.E Acebo wrapped the child in her coat and brought her inside the house. That night, as the young child fell asleep in her arms, W.E Acebo realized something.